Hello everybody, I am the Valley Viking. I'm back with another vlog. Today marks vlog number 16, and I thought I'd do the format just a little bit different because I want you to see what you want to see, and you could just kind of jump to where you want to go. Or if you'd like to watch the whole video, I'd appreciate that. But if you just came here to see a couple things, then I'll give you that option. Okay? I try to talk about how the day went today in the beginning, so that's what I'm doing first. But let's go ahead and do the 3 questions, and we'll go from there. My first question is, have you ever stood in line and then you bought everything before somebody else got to it, and they stood in line right behind you? My second question is, do you accidentally get on people's nerves without even trying to? And then number 3 is, do you believe it's possible to catch something from yourself from drinking or eating after yourself after an extended amount of time? Those are my 3 questions I'm going to talk about today. And the 2 movies that I have today are Body Cam and The Ritual. So those are what I'm going to be talking about today. The one item that I have for you is a personal item that's very close to me. And I'll reveal that whenever I get to it. So if you want to see that, you can jump ahead to the points. You have to look in the description to where you want to go to. I'll also be going over a game today that I thought was pretty good, and I finished it within 2 or 3 weeks. It is a mobile game, and that game is called Tiny Room Stories Town Mystery. I'll talk more about that later in the video, so it'll be in the description down below. First off, let's just start with how are you? I mean, how are things going with you, right? Today was a pretty good day, I have to say. It was really busy, and we cleaned the house. We purged the house of all infection and nastiness. We caught up with a few chores, and we tackled it together, me and my wife. Wendy helped too by making more messes. We went shopping today too, so that was pretty good for what it was. And then of course I watched 2 movies that I thought were pretty exciting. Both of them were horror movies, so very interesting. I did manage to get a couple apps, or a couple applications sent out today, so I'm pretty happy about that. Today was a really productive day, so I'm very happy about that. I look forward to doing another stream tomorrow, and if possible, I was thinking about doing a stream of me building my next project. I don't know yet, but personally too, I might be a little difficult. I also wanted to put that on YouTube, so let me know your suggestions. The only thing is, by the time you see this, I might have already made a decision. So in future like Twitch streams, let me know if you're interested in watching me build something live, because that would be very interesting to know. Now, I talked about going shopping, right? And we were out there. We went to a store, a very popular store. We went to Save Mart, and it was a really good visit, like we usually go to. On the visit there, we just kind of did our thing, and we got everything we needed. They had an excellent sale today, 5 for 5. So I'm down for getting all the meat I can, right? On this trip, a certain thing happened, which leads into my first question. Have you ever stood in line and took everything from the next person in line? and usually this kind of just goes with, like, you just do it, right? You don't really think about what's going to happen. You just do it. You do it and you don't think about it. So that's kind of what happened to me. Today, I got two things. I got French fries, or JoJo's, which are not the same as they used to be, and chicken strips. That's the two main things that I get from there. Those are the two favorite things that I like getting there. Call me a big kid, whatever. It's delicious. Wendy thinks so too. But my experiences, there was maybe 14 chicken strips that were there. Maybe less than that. It didn't look like very much. It was very little, the pile that was there. There was nobody in line. And I said, I want all those chicken strips, right? And I want a pound of potato wedges. And the lady's like, okay, I'm going to get that for you. So she piles in the chicken strips, right? And as she's piling them in, a customer comes up and says, the kid says, I want chicken strips. And the mom says, oh, you want chicken strips? And the lady, there was a second helper there. And the lady that's next to her said, sorry, he's taking them all. And so in doing this, there's like a conflict that's there, right? The kid's getting upset and they're just doing their job, and I'm feeling guilty because I'm taking all the food. So I say, you know what, you don't have to take it all. But of course my voice is kind of low and I can't talk right now. So she can't hear me. She just kind of goes, and then she said, don't worry, I'll get all your nuggets too. These little tiny pieces of chicken that are there. So not only did she like add salt into the wound, she said, I'm gonna give you everything in front of the kids that were standing in next in line. Make me look more full of guilt. So you know what? I brushed it off and said, you know what? I am taking this. This is mine. You ain't getting shit. I mean, what can you do, right? You just accept the role that you've been given at some point. And with that, you know, comes the guilt or whatever. Anyway, it was an experience that I've dealt with several times, actually. I'm a big man, and I usually just take whatever I can, right? This happened to a particular coworker once when I went to when I worked at Walmart. I went to 7-Eleven and I ordered the taquitos, right? And I took all the taquitos that were there, and the coworker that was customers behind, he was about to get some taquitos. And he goes, hey, bro, you just take everything from me? Oh my gosh. At some point, you're just like, you're hoping that you can just be that customer that walks up and there's nobody in line next, right? And there's nobody that gets in line behind you because you don't want to give up their hopes or dreams or whatever for getting their food that they want. But it always seems to happen like at the wrong moment. So, yeah. Now, this kind of leads into my second question. Do you accidentally get on other people's nerves? And now, this is almost the same question, but very different, because this is more generalized. That other was like a specific type of incident. When I say this, do you accidentally get get on other people's nerves just by you being you? And to me, that happens a lot. I am a very clumsy person by nature. I drop stuff, I break stuff, I piss off a lot of people. I get on a lot of people's nerves, and I know I do. I can tell you this one time, I had a handheld device, right, working at one of the stores, and I dropped this device, right? It's an expensive device. I drop it. It has no cover on it. And to boot, it's brand new. This device falls like 4 to 5 feet away from me, right? And all I did was pull it out of my jacket. That's all I did, pull it out of my jacket. And that thing said, whoop. And then it did like a somersault, and then it plop, face down. I did this as my store manager was coming right behind me. He asked me the 3 questions I didn't want to answer. Is that your TC? Yes, that's the device. Is that your TC? Yes. Is that a brand new one? Yes. I picked it up. I looked at the screen. He said, is it broken? Yes. He said, all right, I guess you gotta get a new one. Go put that one in the office and go get yourself a new one. From that point on, I always got the shitty one. But I learned from my lesson. So, actually, I didn't learn from my lesson. I could tell you another thing that I used to do at Walmart all the time. My hats, my equipment, or just, I forget where I put things. And one time, I put one of my hats on top of a pallet. And that pallet, that particular pallet, got shot up onto the top of some steel. And it was a Christmas pallet, right? And it was the end of Christmas year. Usually you want to force that stuff out, but sometimes it gets forgotten. That time it got forgotten. They did not find my hat until 8 months later. And it was dusty and ugly. And I washed it and I wore it. That's how I know that I get on other people's nerves. Number 3, this leads into my 3rd question. If you leave something lying around for a long period of time, right? Something that you've eaten off of or drank from, are you afraid of getting sick from yourself? For me, that question is yes. I am very afraid that's going to happen, because every time I do, I get sick. And it's always the same sickness. Sore throat, coughing, and phlegm. Disgusting. I hate it. And I avoid that as much as possible. And I get like shamed because of it. Like, I'll drink a water bottle and then I'll leave that water bottle for like, I don't know, 4 hours. Or let's say I went to sleep and I come back to it the next day and I see it, I throw that away. I don't want nothing to do with that. I'm not getting sick. What I think happens, I don't know if I have like an over-bacterialized mouth. I don't know if there's just stuff in the air that's here in the house. But it happened at my other house too, so I don't know. But that stuff gets contaminated. Like, I think there's some sort of bacteria that's there that just kind of lives off of saliva. And then once you put that back in your mouth, that's it. You get sick. So that might be strep. I don't know. I don't really know. But do you feel like that happens to you? Am I the only one that thinks that way? Let me know down in the comments. Answer those 3 questions, please, in the comments below, because I want to know what you guys feel. All right. We're going to talk about the movies now. The first movie that I'm going to talk about is called Body Cam. So, Body Cam is a very interesting movie. It does feature a singer-songwriter, Mary J. Blige. Now, this movie revolves around her. She plays the role of a cop, the main character. Mary J. Blige plays an officer who is also a mom. She lost her son in a fatal accident. But she's trying to readjust to her life, and she can't seem to get over that wall, right? Losing her son. Now, during this time that she's like coping with this, strange events start happening to the officers that are around her. They start dying for weird, random reasons, right? Or I shouldn't say weird, random reasons. They die graphically. And it is by some strange force. Now, this goes on through the whole movie. These officers just keep dying, and people just keep on dying. And the source is believed to be another woman. But there's a strange twist there. And I won't go any more deeper than that. If you are interested in watching that, it is a really good movie. It is a horror. There is gore in there, but it turned out to just catch my attention pretty quickly. But the movie was recommended by my mother. And thank you, Mom, for doing that. So I really appreciate that. It was a great movie. Thank you. And now I want to return that by saying, anybody out there that wants to watch a movie, you should watch Body Cam. Great movie. And it features Mary J. Blige. Well, now my second movie that I want to talk about is called The Ritual. This movie is very strange, and it's kind of out there. I'm pretty sure my mom is a big horror buff. I'm pretty sure my mom's already seen this one too, but this movie has been on Netflix for a very long time. And I put it on my watch list a very long time ago. However, I never got around to watching it, only because it didn't ever really catch my attention again. Like, I tried watching it 3 times, and every time that I tried watching it, I lost interest. And the only reason I lost interest is because the beginning takes a very long time to get through. There is a scene that happens in the very beginning that's supposed to like draw your attention and like keep you interested. However, it doesn't really do that for me. In fact, it kind of pushes me away to not want to watch it. In the very beginning, you can see there are 5 friends. They're going on a trip. There are 5 friends that are going on a trip. They go to Sweden and they want to experience this brotherhood together, and they want to go on this exciting trip, right? They stop in their first town, and the 3 of them go to a bar, and 2 of them go to a store. Actually, all 5 of them start in a bar. They drink. They want more drinks, but they don't want to pay that bar price, so they split up and they go get more beer, right? That's what they're doing. In the store, the 2 characters that are there are trying to get stuff, but the store owner starts getting robbed. And when he gets robbed, the cowardly character, the cowardly main character, runs away and hides and bumps into some bottles and clinks them around. And the friend is standing in the middle of nowhere, and they see him, and they go over to him. The robbers go over to him, and they threaten him to get his stuff. Of course, he gives his stuff willingly, except for his ring, and that gets him killed. And what did the cowardly character do? Nothing. He let them get away. In this first little bit of time, that made me not want to watch the movie anymore, because I was very upset with that character, and I just stopped. I didn't want to do it anymore. I pushed through that, and I continued on. And we continue on with the other 4 characters, the other friends that go and they bury their friend in Sweden. They pay tribute, and on their way to a lodge, one of the friends twists his leg and he basically hurts himself, right? And he becomes like a problem along the way. Okay, all of that was needed to be said in order for this to make the movie sound better. They spend a night in a house that is haunted. They all have these weird dreams that just make them freak out. And they wake up the next morning with cuts or being scared half to death. It's just a weird phenomenon that happens. After this whole wood cabin experience happens, one of the friends goes up and they see something strange in the forest. And that's when things get crazy. Now, that whole first half of like not half, but like that first bit of the movie takes about 30 minutes to get through, half an hour. It's a very long setup for me. I want my story to begin and just kind of, I want to get the ball rolling, right? I want you to get me intrigued within the first 5 to 10 minutes, so this way I can enjoy the rest of the movie. So the build-up was hard to get through, but the payoff at the end was pretty great. It got very strange, very weird. I shouldn't say strange or weird. I mean, it is strange and weird, but it is very freaky and very scary. There is a lot of gore in this movie. So if you don't like gore, don't watch this movie. But it is a great movie. Just that first 30 minutes that you have to get through. Or you could just listen to what I said and skip 30 minutes ahead and just go through it. Or just skip to the cabin scene. That's probably even better. Now, we're going to move on to the game review. This game is called Tiny Room Stories Town Mysteries. It is a very, I don't know if you want to say short, but it is a game that is built with two people that made the game. They put a lot of puzzles into this game. There is not that many ads, only after every chapter, which I very much appreciated because you got to do several puzzles before you got an ad. I do appreciate that about them. This game focuses upon a detective, and he's trying to figure out why people are disappearing in their world. And you have to put together puzzles to figure out the answer. It's got a lot of weird puzzles. I really appreciate the game, like the game play of it, because you can actually rotate the room and you find different things around the room and you can play with those. Now some of the puzzles, they kind of get like they're the same kind of puzzles. However, it does get harder the more you get into the story, all the way to the end. There is an ending to the game, and they do have an additional one that you can buy, like an additional chapter that you could buy if you wanted to. It is a really great game. I played it for 3 weeks and I beat it, and I got a very happy. It was a very good game. I liked it a lot. This is also one of those games that, like, if you're waiting or if you're pooping, this is the perfect game that you can play, because the puzzles that are on there take about 5 to 10 minutes for each little section. And of course, the more further you go on, the more time it's going to take. Great game. Really recommend it. This is my favorite jacket. It's probably got a couple stains on it, but it's a very hard thing to clean. It's very heavy. One of my most favorite, it is my favorite jacket. I just stopped wearing it because I don't fit in it anymore. I have had that jacket ever since I was in high school, probably even before that. My parents gave that to me as one of my gifts for my birthdays. And I have appreciated that jacket ever since I got it. It is one of the best jackets I could have. It made me feel good about myself. And it made me really, I don't know, what's the word? It made me appreciate the clothes that I had. However, I don't know if everybody else felt the same about that, because in high school, I think it was my sophomore year, my teacher, Mr. Westerberg, shout out to Mr. Westerberg, said I looked like a homeless person. I didn't have no beard going on back then. I guess I looked like a homeless person. But that is one of my favorite jackets. All bad. But I will never forget that. That's like a traumatizing experience in front of the whole class. Just kidding. But I'm not really. I still really like that jacket a lot. It is a very heavy jacket. I've worn it in a lot of rain, a lot of wind, on dates. It's gone through so many things with me. I used to sleep in it when I was in class, and I would run with it when I was busy going places. I never took it any place that I never took it any place that I lost would lose my jacket, right? And because that's what happens to your favorite jacket. You lose them. So I never took that jacket anywhere like work where I would lose it. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching. We've come to the end of the video. I really appreciate you all watching. I appreciate your feedback and you being here watching the content. I've already said that 4 times. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for joining. And also thank you for giving me time to talk about today. I hope to see you again tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye. Oh, you can find me on Instagram, Smule, and TikTok, all under The Valley Viking. You could join my Facebook page under The Valley Viking, and you can also watch me Twitch on Twitch, where I play games or play cards or just try to talk under Tetrahedron, or Tetrahedra, sorry. Until next time, I hope you have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.